Hi there and welcome to my channel. I'm Jennifer. This is A Country Life and this video is going to be a week of meals. Most likely it's all going to be our supper meals. Maybe a lunch will get thrown in there. I'm not sure. I usually give a little update of kind of like what's going on for that day. And today we have gotten back into school. It is 10 to 5. Maria is actually still, where is she? Oh, she was just there a second ago. Maria is actually still finishing up like the last thing that she has to do.
I just finished.
You just finished. Joe, he did a bunch of reading earlier before lunch, and quite honestly, we did not get to much more with him today than reading. Peter, hi there. Peter is out with Warren right now. I don't know why they went outside or what they went to do, but that's that. We are going to have a really easy supper tonight. Look at these gorgeous eggs. These are not from my chickens. My friend gave me these. We almost have them gone already. They are so pretty. And this one here, this is my favorite. It is literally like the prettiest.
And it's blue.
The prettiest, yeah, light blue turquoisey color ever. Yes, all of those, Maria, you can crack into a bowl and then whisk them, okay? And probably half of those as well. So I have the butter already. I'm going to turn that down. Maybe like one of the glass. How about that glass measuring cup right there? Okay, so I already have the butter melted. We're just going to do the scrambled eggs right here. Maria is going to crack eggs for me. And then I have some of these ham slices here. We had some ham for breakfast. But I'm going to just put these ham slices right into the scrambled eggs whole and let them heat up as the eggs are also cooking. And then we're going to do pancakes for supper. It is breakfast for supper. It is dreary today and it's just under 30 degrees. So we're supposed to get some really just cruddy, rainy, foggy, maybe some snow over the next few days. And it just kind of felt like one of those nights where I just wanted to be cozy. We finished up the split pea and ham soup at lunch today, so I didn't have anything. Just use the shell or use your finger, whatever you need to do to get that out. And I didn't have any plans, and since we were doing school, I honestly I was thinking about supper, but I just kept doing something else with homeschool, and I never got to thawing some meat. So all of a sudden I'm like, oh, we need to have something quick. So I'm gonna do blueberry pancakes, at least for the first half. Or maybe I'll do the first half just regular pancakes, and then the second half I'll do blueberry pancakes. Well, if there's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 10 divided by 2
is 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. 5.
10 divided by 2 is 5. You got it. So do 5 eggs in there. That should be just right.
So I just did 1, and now 2. Oop, I got a shell. There, got it.
So for the pancake mix, I have one of these Rubbermaid containers, and I just make up the pancake mix that is in, I believe that's cookbook 2, you guys. It's called Marion's Pancakes, and I do that times 4. I put all the dry ingredients in here, mix everything up really well, and I just keep it in my pantry. I have written on the top here that I need 2.5 cups of the mix, 2 cups of buttermilk. I rarely keep buttermilk on hand. However, 1 to 2 tablespoons of lemon juice or vinegar in a cup, and then put a cup of milk on top of it. It's about a tablespoon of vinegar or lemon juice per 1 cup of milk. You just kind of let that sit for a minute, maybe 30 seconds, and pour that in, and it sort of like starts to curdle just a little bit to make a sour milk. 2 eggs, and then delicious is to melt the butter. Oftentimes I'm just kind of like, I'm in a hurry, so I just put in 3 splashes of oil, but I like to keep this on hand because it makes pancakes go really fast. Now I do know that you can get the powdered buttermilk, and I don't know the exact amount, but you would just have to look on the powdered buttermilk, how much do you need for 2 cups to make like 2 cups of the buttermilk. Put that amount in here times 4, if that's usually what I have to do, is 4 batches of pancake mix in here. And then you could just add water rather than having to add the the milk and the lemon juice or vinegar. So that's just another way that you can make a homemade pancake mix and have it ready to go. Yes, sweetie.
Where's the whisk?
The whisk, I'm using the whisk. You'll have to use a fork. You can do it. Okay, this seems a little thick today, so I'm actually going to add just a little bit of water. So that would be my tip. If you are making your pancake batter, like using my recipe, and you're like, oh, it seems a little bit thick, just add a little water to thin it out. But you don't want to whip it too much, because you do still want pancake batter to be a little lumpy. And then, like I said, I'm going to put in blueberries tonight, because I have so many blueberries in the freezer from the last couple of years. I'm going to get my pan oiled over here, plenty of oil when doing pancakes.
No, so good.
Yep.
So good. So delicious. Chocolate.
So just yesterday I mentioned to you all that I was probably going to be sharing all suppers. Well, I had forgotten that tonight is actually a movie night for the guys. They usually go, not every week, but anyway, they're going to some friends for a movie night tonight. Usually on that night, they have pizza over there, and we always just, usually Maria and I just either go someplace or we just have like some corn dogs, whatever it really is that she wants to have. So since I had thawed this freezer meal from yesterday, or not from yesterday, but I took it out yesterday to thaw, I thought I would just make it for lunch. So I've actually had this in for an hour and about 25 minutes. I had it at 350 and it just seems like it's taking a long time. I'm going to let it just rest here for a couple of minutes. This is an Italian noodle casserole. I had made this during a freezer meal time probably quite a while ago. I think this was probably made before October. And here we are at the very beginning of January, but it's been in the deep freeze, so it's fine. I have just a little bit of salad left and some cottage cheese, and that is going to be our lunch here today. Well, suppers of the week. Meals of the week, Maria. Give us the heads up on what we're having for supper tonight.
We got strawberries. We got cheese curds.
Melty cheese curds.
Melty cheese curds. And we got snacks.
And probably some water. That's going to be supper tonight. Not because we don't have food in the house, but because this is what we want. So we are going to settle in for Frozen 1.
Yep.
And the guys went to movie night with some friends, and so we're going to just hang out, and we're going to have a snacky little supper. I stopped by my P.O. box today and picked up a whole stack of Christmas cards, and you guys are just so sweet. The notes before, I actually was teary. I don't know if Maria noticed that, but I was reading them and I was just like, okay, just get your composure, Jennifer. But they were just such kind notes from all of you, and just as much as you say that I have kind of come into your home and helped you with different things that are going on in your life, you guys have also helped me, so thank you. This also came in the P.O. box today. It appears that it was shipped directly from a company, and there wasn't any kind of name or anything, but isn't that adorable?
It's like,
what was it called again? A cuddly, it had a name, a cuddly, wait, right here, it's right here, it's right here. Ah, it's not moving. Cuddly Buddies.
Yeah.
Cuddly Buddies.
And it has a little face on it.
And a tail.
It's got a tail.
It's got a little tail down here. So cute.
And it's got like little things where you put your arms in, and then you can wrap your arms around yourself, and it's like a little blanket.
Whoever it came from, thank you. It's really cute. Wednesday now, and what's happening in the kitchen? I put in some boneless pork ribs. They're the country style pork ribs. I had 2 packages of them, which was probably around 4-ish pounds of boneless pork ribs, the country style. I put them into my crock pot probably around 10:30 or so today on low. We'll be eating those for supper tonight. All I did on those was to salt, pepper, some onion powder, some garlic powder, and then I just covered them in barbecue sauce. I put some water in my barbecue sauce bottle because it was at the end and I wanted to clear that out completely. Poured that over as well, and those have just been going. I was going to put in a couple handfuls of cranberries, but you know what? I completely forgot. I was kind of rushing to get that in because we had gotten back from piano. We had to get going on school, and already at 10:30, everyone was like, what are we having for lunch? We're starving. And I was like, I am not thinking about lunch until we get at least half of our schoolwork done. So anyway, that's what's going for supper. I also have some red potatoes that really need to be used. So what I'm thinking is I'm going to peel those because they need to be peeled, and then toss them with a little bit of oil and maybe some onion soup mix if I have an onion soup mix packet, or I'll just do salt and pepper, maybe some Lowry salt, garlic powder, onion powder, that type of thing, maybe a little parsley, and put those in the oven and roast them in the oven. Along with that, I haven't decided. I'm going to do some type of vegetable. I don't know if it'll be a canned vegetable, frozen vegetable. I don't know yet. I also wanted to get some banana bread going. Oh, there's my wrappers. I had 3 chocolates. Amber's boyfriend gave me Godiva chocolates for Christmas. A gigantic bag of them. And so this is like my afternoon little pleasure here, is to have 3 little chocolates. I wanted to do some banana bread here, so this is in cookbook number 2. So many cookbooks have been going out the door again, and so I thought I would just show some recipes in here. Let's get this light turned on so I don't have such a shadow. That's so much better. So here we go, banana bread. This is a very old-fashioned recipe. This came from the mother of my kindergarten Sunday school teacher. And when I was a little girl, I remember thinking that my Sunday school teacher was old. I mean, she probably wasn't that old. Maybe a little older than my mom. No, I don't know. Honestly, I really can't say anymore. But it was from her mother. That's who the recipe was from. So probably someone who would have been, born maybe in the 20s? No. Maybe like 1910-ish or something like that, if I'm thinking of my dates right. So it's an old recipe. That's what I'm trying to tell you. It's so good though, and I know you could type in the best banana bread ever into YouTube, and you're going to find hundreds of recipes because everybody thinks theirs is the best. But this one really is good. Remember, with any quick bread, just about any quick bread, they really are best if you give them time to set up. If you try to cut a quick bread immediately out of the oven when it's still so warm, sometimes, at least my opinion, is that they're not as good as they would be the next day. So into here I have 1 cup of sugar, a 1/2 cup of shortening, which is part butter, so that just means basically a 1/4 cup of butter and a 1/4 cup of shortening. I have 2 eggs, and I'm going to get that all blended. Off to the side here, I also am making my sour milk, so I put some vinegar in this 1/3 cup measuring cup and then filled it with milk. I'm just going to let it rest there until the egg and sugar is all blended, and then pour it in, and it will have kind of like thickened and curdled just a bit. I do not crush my bananas. I just throw the bananas in because I would always choose the softest bananas when making banana bread. Alright, so a 1/2 teaspoon of salt, 2 cups of flour, a teaspoon of baking soda. I'm going to do 2 of these smaller loaves rather than 1 big one, just because it's going to cook up bake up a little bit faster. And I would like to make something else today too. I was thinking of making some pumpkin bars with cream cheese frosting. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what all I get done. In these little loaf pans, I always try to link to something similar at Amazon. The brand on here is Comet, which I haven't been able to find that before. Let's see, come on. Normally I can see that better. Here we go. 7 3/8 inch by 3 5/8 inch by 2 1/4 inch. Like I've said before, these were my mom's, and she had these as long as I can remember, so they're probably 50 years old. I mean, maybe they're only 48 years old. You know, I don't know exactly when she got them, but I never remember her not having them. This recipe bakes in a slow oven, which is equivalent to 300 degrees. And if you're making the full-size loaves, this can go from 60 minutes all the way up to 75 minutes, sometimes even a little bit longer. So you don't want to take quick bread out of the oven prematurely because it will sink in the middle. And then you'll have like a gummy centered bread. And trust me, nobody wants gummy centered bread. So definitely give it plenty of baking time. Even these little loaves are going to take probably, I'm going to set the timer for 50. And they may even go up to 60. My oven just preheated, so I'm going to pop this in now. While the banana bread was baking, I grabbed Joe. We went out for a walk and got back in, and it actually did have to bake for a little bit longer, so I set it for 50, then 10 more minutes, and 5 more minutes. That's what I'm talking about. You definitely want it to get nice and done, and then I just like to let it rest in the pan for a little while. It's been in the pan for probably 10 minutes or so already. And now I'm over here just making some ginger bars. How the ginger bars came about, because I mentioned to you before, I was like, oh, maybe I'd kind of like to make some pumpkin bars. But there's a couple reasons. One, I chose not to do pumpkin bars because the pumpkin bars have to bake for like 40 minutes or something like that, I think. Is it 40 minutes? I think it's in here, right there. Oh no, it says about 25 minutes or so. Okay, but then they have to cool, and then I have to make the frosting, and it probably would just kind of get too tight around supper, and we want to have this for a dessert with supper, and it just wouldn't be cool enough yet, and all of that. And the other reason is because, do you have a husband that likes to finish your sentences? Warren loves to like finish the story for me. So he had popped into the house for a moment, and he saw me over here by the KitchenAid, and I said, oh, I'm thinking I'm gonna bake. And he goes, yeah, some ginger bars or peanut butter swirl bars, and he like named off some things. And I was like, I wasn't actually asking what I should make. I was just making a statement that I'm going to bake something of my choosing. So anyway, now he just actually popped in again, and the banana bread is done. And I said, oh, I made some banana bread. He's like, yeah, I see that. He said, I figured there was no chance. What did he say? How do you say that when you say there's no chance in HE double hockey sticks or whatever? He said that you would make ginger bars. So I'm making some ginger bars just for him because I think that's going to surprise him. And I've made these here on my channel a lot. I'll show the recipe. This is actually from cookbook number 1. And, right? Is this cookbook 1? Yes, cookbook 1 for the ginger cookie bars. So it's just shortening and sugar and molasses and egg and vanilla and flour and baking soda and cinnamon and cloves and ginger and salt. You basically just mix everything up, put it into a jelly roll pan, which is a 10 by 15 inch pan, and bake it for about 10 minutes. You don't want to overbake these or the corners will get too crunchy when they cool. A little cold water on your hands will really help you to spread this out easier and without it sticking to your hands so much. And you might feel like this is not enough dough for this pan, but believe me, it is. It has 2 teaspoons of baking soda in it, So it really rises up and fills this right in very nicely. So this is how supper is turning out. I ended up changing my mind on a lot of things. So we have the pork ribs, and then with the potatoes, since, well, I was having some troubles with my computer, honestly, trying to get photos to transfer from my camera to my, just a second, Joe, to my computer, and it wasn't working so well. So I got a late start with the potatoes, so I just peeled them, cubed them, put them in the microwave with butter, parsley, salt, and pepper. 20 minutes in the microwave, they're done. And then I just did pork and beans. I thought I had some canned carrots that I really wanted to go along with this meal, but I didn't. So pork and beans it is. Supper is all done. And this was a really, really delicious way to make the ribs. They were really good. They were pretty tender. Some of them, they had a little bit more fat. Excuse me, marbling were a little bit, you know, those were more tender than the ones that didn't have a lot of fat marbling to them. Here are the ginger bars. I just realized, you know, we've eaten 9 of them already, but I just realized that I forgot to show those to you. So today I set my the temperature for 350 since I was using such a dark pan. If I use a lighter pan, or if I get like a brand new one of these, and it's a lot lighter, I will keep the temperature at 375. But I set it at 350, and these were in for 11 minutes. They seemed still, you know, like undone, but as they cool, they continue to cook, and you know the edges are just right. They're not overdone, because I think the last ones I almost burnt. Well, here we are already on Thursday. I don't know where this week went. I don't know how it is going by so fast, but anyway, it is, right? It just seems like that. Actually, on a side note, here's a quick little story. So we have a field trip to go to at the end of the month. We're going to both a museum, like a war history museum, as well as a trampoline park. Of course, the kids are super excited about the trampoline park, and today, and I've been thinking, oh, it's at the end of the month. It's at the end of the month. It's a long time away. I'm not gonna, you know, I'm not going to like try to rush along this month. And then Maria was looking at the calendar today, and she's like, Mom, it's only 20 days until the field trip. I was just like, oh, how can we be that far into January already? Okay. I am making tonight for supper 2 HelloFresh meals. This is not sponsored by HelloFresh. I spent my own money to buy these meals. Well, let me tell you, I actually had a coupon for a free box. And how that works is, so if you get a coupon code for a free box, you do have to sign up for the HelloFresh subscription, which I think is like 7 or 8 boxes. Like what they'll do is your first box might be free with the shipping, which is $10.99. And then you might save an additional $15 off the second box and a $15 off the third box. And then the other boxes are like full price, but you can cancel after the first box. I mean, I'm not sure if you're aware of that. I'm not sure if I'm supposed to say that out loud, but you can cancel. And so I had a coupon code for a free box. So I got my free box, and then as soon as it came in the mail on my shipment date is a Wednesday, then I just went and canceled. So I didn't get any more boxes. If you do have an email that you have never ever entered into HelloFresh, send me an email and I will send you a code, because I think I actually have 6 coupon codes for free boxes. But the caveat to that is you cannot have ever entered your email into HelloFresh. If you've entered your email in there, then even if you never like signed up, they have a cookie or something that saves that information, and so the free box won't work. So anyway, if you're interested, email me. I think, like I said, I think I have 6 codes for free boxes. First, I'm gonna make this Italian chicken and pepper sandos. And then this one is called bulgogi pork tenderloin. I'm kind of just combining the 2 recipes. The one calls for roasted potato wedges, the other one calls for roasted carrots. So I just put some olive oil on one pan, cut everything up. I'm gonna get this into the oven. What does it say? It says to roast them at 450, so that's what I'm gonna do, with some salt and pepper. So when I make the 2 different meals, we kind of just make our plates. Usually we might cut some things in half or combine it, whatever we want. So I think this is Warren's plate starting. No cutting in half for you, huh? Whole of everything. All right, so then I did not squeeze the lemon over just because we tend to find that we don't really care for lemon squeezed over a lot of things. I'm probably going to try it. The sesame seeds are supposed to go over this with the sauce.
I gotta put the sauce on.
Yeah, and I think the sauce is sort of, I don't know, maybe Asian kind of. Oop, don't bang your head.
Excuse me.
What?
I need more cheesy.
I'll try it.
Can I give it a try? I tasted it. I thought it was pretty good.
It is so good.
That's a good sandwich?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so Peter is doing
Got the
Oh my god.
the chicken.
the cheese, onions, green peppers. Oh, man.
Mm-hmm. And Maria, what did you decide on? Bread?
Bread, chicken, and cheese.
Okay.
And it's really good.
And a little rice?
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful. And Joe's over here loading up on meat. You're taking 2 pieces of pork? Well, I have no idea how it got to be Friday already, but here we are, it's Friday, and we do try to eat meatless on Fridays. We haven't always done that, but I would say over the course of this last year, we have been trying much harder, even though it isn't Lent. Yeah, you can look up the Catholic Catechism if you want to. I can put a little thing as the number here if you want to know more about Meatless Fridays. Anyway, we have been trying to do more Meatless Fridays. I did not have a meatless lunch. I had chicken and wild rice soup. Wasn't even thinking about it, but here we are, it's supper, and Warren earlier was like, hey, did you give me ham for breakfast today? I was like, oh yeah, I did, sorry. And I'm gonna try to do better. So for supper tonight, we are doing macaroni and cheese. I'm gonna make 2 boxes, so that way I have hopefully a little bit left over tomorrow. I should tell you there's only 4 of us home for supper tonight. And then I also was going to make some soup. So I'm going to make a broccoli and cauliflower soup. And I have my broccoli right here. I just chop it all up. And my recipe calls for a 1/2 pound of chopped broccoli. And I know I have more than that between the cauliflower and the broccoli, and so I'm just going to chop it all up and weigh it, and then I will adjust the recipe as needed. Since I have almost 1.5 pounds of vegetables, what I'm going to do is almost triple the recipe. So I'm starting with about 7.5 cups of water and almost 3 tablespoons of better than bouillon roasted chicken soup base. Going with my almost tripling the recipe, I have almost a cup of butter in here with, again, almost a cup of, let me just make sure, with about 3/4 cup of chopped onion. So that was kind of like 1 medium-ish onion. Now I'm going to stir in 1/3 cup of flour. And I'm going to do that 3 times. 2 of the 1/3 are going to be full, and then the last one is going to be not quite. Just going to stir that around for a little while to get the like raw flour flavor out of there. You want to cook your flour so it doesn't taste like glue. Okay, I'm going to let that just kind of sit there and bubble away for about 1 minute. And then in the meantime, I'm going to measure out, I'm going to use 2% milk here. I'm going to measure out almost, let me check how much milk I need again. So it's 1/2 cup, so almost 1.5 cups of milk. All right, I'm going to add in the milk slowly, stirring the whole while. And then I'm just gradually going to add in the broccoli cauliflower water mixture. Hi, Joe. I'm great. How are you? So this soup came together really quickly. You saw me stir in some cheese. That was just about 3/4 cup to a cup of shredded cheddar cheese. And this is creamy and thick. I did add some pepper to it, but I did not need to add any additional salt. And this could be an even faster soup if you already had your vegetables cut up like over the weekend. This would be a fantastic meal. That could be a weeknight meal, but with some Sunday prep. So have the broccoli and the cauliflower chopped and in a bag, have the onion chopped and in a bag, and then you just basically have to kind of cook and assemble, and it comes together quite quickly. And one thing with kind of like a broccoli cheese soup like this is that it will taste better the next day, but a lot of soups I find I don't even like to eat them the first day. I like to wait until the next day. But this one will be good today, and it's going to be good tomorrow as well. All right, that was our week of meals. I hope that you guys enjoyed this and you get a little bit of inspiration. Not that every single week is filled to the brim with fancy home-cooked meals, but this was our week, and this was how it turned out. The soup, well, I'm filming this the next morning because I realized I forgot to finish kind of off the video last night, but that soup last night was so good. I wish Warren was in here right now, but he's actually plowing a road for the logging project that's going on. Because I commented to him, I said, hey, thanks for actually liking that soup, because I didn't make it with him in mind. I made it with me and Joe, and then I made macaroni and cheese because I figured him and Peter would eat the macaroni, and he actually ate the soup and came back for seconds. And after we were all finished eating, he said, you know, that cream, the cream soup part, he said that was an outstanding 10. The broccoli was a 9, and the cauliflower, he said he just tried to ignore. And he obviously ignored it fine because he went back for a second bowl. But it was so, so good. I think the key to a good soup, when it's something as simple as that, I mean, those were the most simple ingredients ever, but is to use the best soup base that you can, whether it's better than bouillon. I just had read in the comments that there was another brand, like in my last video, I think it was like the week-long Christmas video. That video, there's a lot of comments to that video, and if you haven't read those, you should go back and read some of those. Somebody left a comment about their favorite soup base, and I think it was called something like JB... I can't even remember because it was not something that I'd heard of around here, nothing I've seen around here. But that is the key, is to using the best like bouillon flavoring that you can get your hands on. That will make the best soup. So, all right. I hope you guys enjoyed that. If you got a little value out of that, you can hit the thumbs up so you don't miss any of the new content coming out. And we will see you guys in the next video. Bye.